Hi everyone, welcome to the sixth episode of In Person. We're here at Alliance Francaise in Delhi at the exhibition space for Unsealed Chamber, The Transient Image, curated by Raha Balana, featuring the works of 4 contemporary artists working with alternative image making processes. Indu Antony and Aparna Nori, who are also part of the Bangalore-based collective Kanike, both work with salt paper prints in different ways for their works that are part of the show. Arpan Mukherjee, who runs Studio Gopo in Shantiniketan, he works with a lot of 19th century photographic printing processes. And Philippe Kalia's works for this show. Philippe Kalia is a photographer and filmmaker, and his works for this show, stemmed out of chemical experiments that he was doing with like paper and chemicals. But we have, and the scenography for this show was done by Sukanya Bhaskar, who is with us here today. And Sukanya will walk us through the exhibit and speak a little bit about the exhibition design and some of the works here, and give us a better idea of what the show and about the show and how it was conceived. So yeah,
thanks so much, Prabhakar. Thanks a lot for your interest in the show, and I think what I was hoping to do today was I thought I'd first give you just an overview of this exhibition and just tell you how the process of kind of putting the scenography together came about, and then we can individually sort of walk through the spaces of the artists and we can speak about them. So just maybe to begin with a little bit of a background on this gallery itself. We're currently at the Gallery Romain Rolland, which is at the Alliance Francaise. And I think just from the point of view of scenography and exhibition design, one thing notable about this gallery is that it's a particularly architecturally very strong and powerful gallery. As you can see, there's all of these concrete elements, these pillars in the corner, which are sort of a part of the architecture of the space, which interestingly make it a very beautiful but simultaneously slightly challenging space. That's sort of this is the space that we began with, when we were thinking about this exhibition. So that's just about the space a little bit. And as for me and my interest in scenography, I think it kind of comes from, I've got a background in graphic design as well as curation. So my interest in scenography is sort of, it both comes from the point of view of design but also curation. So I guess like a personal interest of mine was always, even with this exhibition, was to sort of see how much design can have a voice within an exhibition space, while also sort of letting the artworks just sort of take the main lead and not overpower the artworks themselves. So that's just a little bit of a background on me and how the scenography for this thing came about. So I think we can maybe move to our first artist.
Yeah, we can begin with Aparna Nori's works.
Yes. So Aparna Nori, like you rightly pointed out, has been working with salted paper prints, and the work that she's displayed here is called Nalla Pillai. And she's working with the idea of the skin, and how she tries to put it forth is through the idea of performance. She speaks about how performativity is the way that she wants to speak about things like her body and her skin, and hence it's all very outward and externally faced. So I think one of the things interesting about her work was that there were basically 2 works that we were looking at in the space, and to decide to have it in the opening gallery of the exhibition sort of poses an interesting challenge, I feel, because as you can see, both these works are very, very different in their medium. One of them is a video projection, the other is a light box. And while they both are linked, they both sort of needed their own space to sort of just be, and for people to spend time with them. I think one of the really beautiful things about the video piece is that there's this lovely ephemeral quality to it. The fact that it's being projected on the cloth, and it's a video projection without sound. And being in this opening gallery, there's sort of this constant light movement of the fabric that you can feel, which I think is sort of like it's something that is built into the work. So as an exhibition designer, I think we were really invested in trying to see how best to communicate that idea across. So even when we realize that this is the gallery, there are 4 artists we're going to be working with, how do you decide which artist goes where? Like these are the sort of things that inform decisions on which work should be displayed how in which space. So I think that's one of the really lovely things about this work, and being the sort of the first piece of art that you see as soon as you enter the gallery, it's sort of inviting in its own way. Just a little bit about the Lightbox work that Aparna created. The sort of the fabrication of this work was happening simultaneously as the exhibition was being conceived.
Okay.
So a lot of the decisions about how to display, like how the Lightbox would come together, how it would be constructed, was sort of happening concurrently. So one of the interesting things about that is that we were very interested in the materials that she was using in the construction of the Lightbox, like that particular the heft of the wood or the tones of the wood that were being used in the Lightbox, but at the same time using it to display something as delicate as these paper prints that she has. So I think that was maybe one of the inspirations for how we were thinking about exhibition design as well. The idea of the material sort of comes from within the artworks. Like we were very conscious to not try and use any material that would sort of jarringly stand out too much. Like though exhibition design could very much have a voice in the space, the idea was to try and see how much of it can just blend in with the artworks without, speaking out too loudly almost.
You can move to Arpan's exhibit.
Sure. So as we kind of move further from this space, we come to the work of Arpan Mukherjee. Arpan actually has a studio practice in Shantiniketan as well. So one of the things that he's speaking about in this series, Gola Voradhan, is about this migration from villages to cities. So, there's if you were just to look around the room, one of the things that would sort of jump out at you is the number of different processes that are being used, the number of image making processes that are being used. And what is very interesting is that the processes sort of link to some part of the narrative that he's trying to communicate. Like, light boxes are being used for a very particular reason. Ambrotypes, gum bichromate on paper, cyanotypes. Like there's a great intentionality to how Arpan is using these processes and in turn the images that he's choosing to showcase through these processes. So I guess for this space, like one of the key things I would say is that because he has a studio making practice, one that uses predominantly analog techniques, but it's a space of experimentation. Like he's constantly sort of experimenting with media and the surfaces that he's printing on. So that's I guess where the idea of the atelier kind of comes about. There was some intention of wanting to communicate the idea of a studio or a working space almost.
Okay.
So though most of these are framed prints, the way that we chose to display them was, like on these shelves or on the tables or on stands. And there's that idea of the process or, a work in progress kind of an idea or an atmosphere that we wanted to build for Arpan's space. And as you can see, like with all the different frames on many different levels, like the amount of detail that you can see within each frame varies greatly. So like I think one of the important things for Arpan as well was that the viewer should be able to get very, very close to the works to be able to see the details, because that's one of the most beautiful things that comes out in these print techniques. So the one right in the center, like that's sort of the an important piece in this entire display is this particular ambrotype that we're looking at right now. Again, printed on glass. Like I said, like one of the most beautiful things is to try and look at the details that come out of these printing processes. So hence it was sort of given this, it was given this importance and given a shelf of its own and sort of highlighted in a way. And another example maybe of the surfaces that Arpan prints on, like this is a pinhole camera, for example, where he's kind of printing on metal. And as you can see, again, even for something like this, it is very, very important that the viewer be able to get very close to the object to be able to see the details and the fineness. So I think that was one of the major things that drove this display and how this came about.
Maybe we can move to Philip's work.
Sure, yeah. With Philippe, I think the key piece in his section is this video installation that he had. And because this video was sort of the central piece in this exhibition, we were sort of trying to build the exhibition space around this video. So hence the idea of the black box. And I mean, as from the point of view of exhibition design, creating a black box within any gallery space is quite a challenge, just because of the number of things that need to be done to ensure that sound and video and everything sort of, as good as it can be. And as you can see from the video, there's a lot of detail in the video itself that you do need for it to come out, and hence we needed we needed the darkness and the depth in order to be able to recognize all the details that are there in the video. So much like many other artists, Philippe's work, like Aparna's, was also was happening alongside the exhibition. So a lot of the decisions about how this work would be displayed was sort of happening in conversation. And that's I think this particular work is a great example of, the kind of collaboration that happened during the process of putting up this exhibition, because the production team, for example, with Deepak and Kuldeep and Rinku, and their knowledge of material, their knowledge of what material could work, and what is the sort of stability that is required to hold two pieces of glass in space, and these sort of very logistical concerns, and combined with trying to trying to portray the idea that the artist was trying to communicate. I think that is what made this whole process of collaboration very, very important in this space. So yeah, this was one of those examples of where these conversations were very, very generative. The other thing, I guess, notable in this space would be that, like I pointed out right at the beginning, the architectural elements are sort of essential and they're important in the space. And from the point of view of design, the idea was always to try and think about how do we do design creatively, but not do it too much also in a way that it sort of takes over the space. So Philippe's was a video work that required seating. So we did pay a little bit of attention to how we were thinking about seating, and because these concrete pillars was such an important part of the space, something that you can't ignore, or something that you can't miss. The idea that we came up with was to in fact have seating custom made for this space, so that it's sort of inspired by these concrete blocks, and the material that's used for it also in the process is inspired by the space itself and other artworks. So that was sort of one of the interesting challenges of trying to think about design in a more integrated manner. So I think we can just quickly move on to the second work of Philippe's, which is a part of the space, which is this is a work belonging to the same series called The Shape of Clouds. The title of the work is Memory Holes. This is where the thing that you were mentioning right at the beginning was, the idea of using chemicals and trying to intentionally sort of erase images, almost intentionally erase images in a way. That's what's in play in this work. And once again, because this is a work that was being displayed for the first time in an exhibition context, the other thing that was very important was to try and think about the display of this particular work, because as you can see, the artist has really thought about how he wishes to display his prints. Like, each of them are displayed on a piece of rock which he found and got cut, and there was an intentionality to how he wished to display it. So then how do we translate that into the exhibition space was a question that we all of us had to work together to figure out in a way. And the writing that you see on the side is sort of the other information about each print, which is the coordinates and the location and the material that was of where these prints were taken. So how do we also incorporate something like that into the display of the pieces?
I think we can move on to the last bit of the exhibition, which is Indu Antony's work.
Right. So this is sort of the last space of the exhibition, which is also maybe interestingly a slightly challenging part of the gallery, because as I was describing the gallery, this is a space that has a bit of an incline. There's a ramp towards the end of the gallery. So while that works very interestingly in how people move around the space, design-wise it can be a bit of a challenge. With Indu's work, I think the work is what the work is that it's an archive of anonymous women that the photographer has collected over many years. These are women who, these are photographs of women that she found at photo studios. And because there was nowhere else to house them, it's almost like she brought them into her house and decided to house them within her own home. So she always, when Indu spoke about this work, she always spoke about it with a sense of respect, and with almost calling the space where she had all of their photographs an altar. So I think that was a great sort of stepping stone to try and conceptualize this space, because as you can see, the lighting's done in a particular way. The construction of each of these individual prints was also something that happened alongside the conceptualization of this exhibition. So Indu was also working closely with the fabricators of this exhibition. So you can see that the stands that these images are displayed on are kind of they are sort of constructed in a way that they resemble how photographs of gods and goddesses are displayed within households in South India. So, with the light in front of them. And, there's a very particular image that the artist kind of wants to conjure in your mind. But when you put all of them simultaneously in a space, how do you still maintain, how do you sort of not make it feel like these are images in a gallery space, but maintain that emotion or that effect of an altar that the artist had sort of set out wanting to communicate. So that's Indu's space. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sukanya. I think we've also come to the end of this live session, and today is the last day of this exhibition.
That's right.
It closes today.
Yes.
But you can always revisit the video on our on the live session recording that we'll be putting out soon. And thank you for joining us. And we've also got a couple more live sessions planned for this in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll be able to join for that as well. Thank you so much, Sukarna.
Thank you so much, Prabhakar. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thanks a lot for putting this together, and like again, a big thank you to everyone who sort of made this exhibition possible. The institutes, the organizations that all sort of helped put this together. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.